Hi, Matt the Tube Crowley here. Today I'd like to make this video to test the back drag of a number of half-inch ratchet wrenches. This is a Rotohead Tecton in 1/2 inch. I have before me a Seekonk Precision Tools torque measuring device which measures in inch ounces. It's a very low value of torque. Let's see how much this wrench measures at. 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, call it 14 inch ounces. 12, 14, 15, 16, so maybe about 14. I like this quick release function here. And by the way, I had to fabricate this adapter myself. I cut off an old 1/2 inch extension and welded on a 1/4 inch hex shaft so that it fits into the mating portion of this torque measuring tool. It seems to work fine for these purposes. So now we have a icon. This is the swivel head, a modern design. Let's see what it measures as far as back drag goes. 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 12, 14, that was 12, 12, so I don't know, 13 or 14 inch ounces. Now we have a Tecton, again with a quick release, making life easy if you want to take off a socket or extension. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, call it 14, 14, maybe 13, 13. So far, 13, 14 inch ounces. Here's the Quinn. It's kind of a slightly more economical Harbor Freight tool. Six, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Wow, so maybe 16 inch ounces. 12, call it 12, 12, 12. So these are significantly more than the 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch as far as back drag goes. They seem to be hovering around 12 inch ounces or a tad more so far. This is the 90 tooth gear wrench. This design has been around for a while. And for those astute observers in the audience, it's essentially the same as the Quinn. The heads are exactly the same size. They've got the same plate to hold the anvil and pawl in. So I assume they're coming out of the Apex tool group somehow. Six, 8, 10, call it 11. 11, 11, 10, maybe a titch bit less than the Quinn, but not surprisingly, they seem pretty similar. Now we get the Gear Wrench XP120. The head looks to be quite the same. Obviously, it's got a different internal mechanism. You can feel its fineness of the mechanism due to the higher tooth count. Let's see what it measures for back drag. 6, 8, 10, 12, let's call it 12, 12, 12. Wow. So getting a fair bit of consistency here with the back drag of these popular brands of wrenches. I made 2 other videos showing my appreciation for the Capri 90 tooth ratchets, a 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch, in which the 1/4 inch and 3/8 Capri did very well as far as back drag goes. We're going to see if that continues on with the 1/2 inch. I'll tell you that the results surprised me a little bit. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, wow, 14, 16, 17, 17, 12, 14, 16, so something like 16 or 17 inch ounces. So frankly, greater than these other tools besides perhaps the Tecton. So I'm a little bit disappointed. I don't know why Capri wasn't able to take its technique to the 1/2 inch as they did with the 3/8 and 1/4, but there it is. So now we've got a Seekonk. These are renowned for having low back drag. You might be able to hear that this is a low tooth count. I think this is something like 24 tooth count. So let's see what it measures for back drag. 4, 5, 6, call that 6 inch ounces. 2, 4, 4, 5, 5 or 6, so very low. It's perhaps half the back drag value of these other units. And now we come to the supposed king of the hill, the snap-on. You can see the head's fairly big compared to something like this Tecton, which is a more compact head, or even this Icon. It's a rather much wider head. They seem to be about the same thickness, but you can tell immediately that it's a very smooth, very solid mechanism. It doesn't wobble if you grab the anvil and shake it a little bit. Very solid, very smooth mechanism. So let's see what it measures for back drag. 4, 6, 8, 8, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, whoa, I'll throw that one out, that's an oddball. 6, 8, so that was an 8, so I will call this 8 inch ounces. So the snap-on defeats all these other mainstream brands except for the Seekonk, but this is one of the new dual 80 snap-ons. So as far as tooth count goes, compared to the Seekonk, it's going to be a whole lot better in a tight situation where you don't have many degrees of movement to move the wrench. So, but of any of these, I would be picking up the snap-on unless that money was an issue, and then in that case, I don't know, the Tecton's pretty good if money is an issue. But of these that I've measured, both in the tooth count and the back drag, I would probably still applaud the snap-on. So God bless America.